coverage, snap to Haney, throws it over the middle, intercepted, B.J. Raji to the end zone for the touchdown, and NFC Championship dagger. Blitz is on, Rodgers scrambles left, winds up Rainbow. He's got Cobb at the 10 to the 5, to the end zone, touchdown, and a dagger. Aaron Rodgers ducks in under center, drops to a knee, and time melts away for Super Bowl 45. The title is back in town. The Green Bay Packers are world champions of football.
The Wisconsin Sports Trilogy presents the Packers Trilogy Podcast.
Heyo, Packer fans, what's going on? Welcome to the Packers Trilogy Podcast presented by the Wisconsin Sports Trilogy, the podcast for diehard Packer fans by diehard Packer fans. I am your host, Trevor. You can find me on Twitter at Bender_Trevor. Joining me today on this YouTube edition of the Packers Trilogy Podcast is Tyler, aka T+. You can find Tyler and all of his content at Tyler Kurth. And today we have a little bit different video, a little bit shorter video that we're going to post for you guys today, and we're going to just talk about NFC North and what has happened. What is the big news? And today the big news is after the Vikings traded for him in the offseason, Yannick Ngakoue has been traded to the Ravens, which actually makes them scary, and actually they are planning to sign Des Bryant, I think. Like, that's weird in itself, but the Ravens are making moves, and the Vikings, for what I thought was going to be a long-term investment in Ngakoue, they keep him for 6 weeks. So just about the trade quickly here, when they traded for him, they gave up a second and a conditional fifth. The second was for this next year's draft in 2021. The conditional fifth was the following year. They got back from the Ravens a third in 2021 and a conditional fifth in 2022. So they recap most of the value, but they lose out on a second round draft pick and kind of swap that with a third. And I believe the dead cap for Yannick Ngakoue, what they paid him was about $6.5 million. So basically they were paying him over $1 million a game this year. Kind of a puzzling move, but with how they're playing, I guess not all of that surprising. What do you think of the trade here from the Vikings?
Yeah, very puzzling is the right word for it, because now they have no pass rush because Danielle Hunter goes and has surgery that's going to put him out for the rest of the year. So pass rush wise, the Vikings are in terrible shape. They still have a talented defense. They have good linebackers. They have good safeties. The cornerback room, they got a lot of development to go there. But it's just so weird. Like you mentioned, you don't see players get traded to a team and then traded again in this short of a span. And for the Vikings, who were, contenders to be in the playoffs last year, contenders to, with the Packers there for the NFC North, and they signed Dalvin Cook in the offseason, and now you're going away trading one of your best defensive pieces. It just doesn't make much sense.
Yeah, it really doesn't. You mentioned them not having a pass rush, and the fact that Danielle Hunter is out with that neck injury, and he's actually having surgery on that. We wish him all the best. He's a great player in this league, obviously playing for one of our rivals, but definitely wish him best and a speedy recovery for him. But what does it mean this year? It means this struggling Vikings team does not have any semblance of a pass rush. I'm going to show you guys here, share this screen with you of what they're losing in Yannick Ngakoue. And this is the stats we're looking at here, the defense and fumbles section, and specifically this column right here, the sacks. You look, his rookie year, 8 sacks, 2017, 12, 2018, 9.5, then 8 and 5 so far this year through 6 games. So pretty damn formidable for Yannick Ngakoue. You go over to what they're losing with Danielle Hunter. he goes 6 sacks, 12.5, 7, 14.5, 14.5. Obviously, he's coming into his own these past 2 years. He's been very, very good. That would have been a crazy good pass rush duo that they had in Minnesota had they both been on the field. And that's something that definitely is a big hit for this team. And, I mentioned they're struggling. It's puzzling that they go and do that. One, to make a trade for Yannick Ngakoue and then trade him away, like you mentioned, Tyler. That doesn't happen in the NFL. Trades don't happen all that often in the NFL. And then the fact that guy gets traded twice in one season is just kind of a strange thing. But it definitely leaves this Minnesota Vikings team hurting on the defensive side of the ball because great safety play. Their linebackers are very good. But now what does this front have? How are they going to get to quarterbacks? You saw the Buccaneers be able to affect Aaron Rodgers by getting to him. Well, without Ngakoue or Danielle Hunter, which you were hoping, as a Vikings fan, you were hoping Danielle Hunter would come back and you could pair him with Yannick Ngakoue. But that's just not going to happen this year. So now how do you get to Aaron Rodgers? How do you affect him like that? I don't think you can with the players on this team. Tyler, do you have anything else before we get out of here on specifically the Vikings team or this pass rush that they have or don't have this year right now?
Yeah, it just really, if you're a Vikings player, especially on the defense side, it doesn't instill any confidence in you. I mean, you're already 1-5 this year. Is that management saying, hey, we're just going to tank this year, get a good pick, and maybe come back next year? I don't know. You still got Kirk Cousins, so probably not. Your chances are not very good.
Oh yeah, Kirk Cousins. that money is not looking good. And you'll see Bears fans and Vikings fans. Lions fans are generally pretty quiet, probably rightfully so. But you see the other two organizations, their fan base is just dogging Aaron Rodgers. And Kirk Cousins does this every other week, throwing 2-3 interceptions. And he did it this past week. So, as long as, I think you said this on Twitter, Tyler, as long as Kirk Cousins is in the building, they aren't going to be able to get any sort of rebuilding going, or they're going to be in a rebuild, but they're not going to be able to make any process because Kirk Cousins is not a very good quarterback. He can be good. He can be good when everything is going right, but as soon as the run game isn't there, as soon as he's getting pressure in his face, as soon as he has to come back from big he's not the same guy. If you can get him, a running back that's going to run 200 yards every game and all of those things, and he can just play action you to death, yeah, he can be good. But other than that, I don't think he's a particularly good quarterback, and that was a nice use of your money by extending him again, which, I guess you guys, you do you because you're the Vikings and you're going to forever live in mediocrity. But, hey, come at us. I gladly talk Packers Vikings with you. Just so you know, Tyler, if the Vikings were to cut Kirk Cousins, the dead cap this year is $62 million. Next year is $41 million in dead cap. In 2022, they'd have just a $10 million dead cap. So they have at least this year and next year with Kirk Cousins as their quarterback, or at least on the roster, because there's no way you cut $41 million without having that guy on the roster. So that's going to be it for us. Just a brief little NFC North news video for you guys. Make sure you continue to check us out on Twitter at Trilogy_pod. Check out the rest of our videos. And if you like what you see here on the channel, make sure you subscribe, like, tell your friend, tell your family. We would very much appreciate it. But until next time, go Pack Go.